Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you're watching. Today, I decided it's gonna be great and interesting, hopefully, to talk to you about my journey with quitting coffee. And before you close this video, because what the hell are you talking about, Maya? I love coffee, so shut the fuck up. Wait. I was you just like a few months ago, okay? And I could not understand people who don't drink coffee. Like, I love coffee, but just, give me a chance. Give me a chance. You don't have to do it. You don't have to stop drinking coffee once you watch this video, but you can, consider it. Maybe do a little experiment, or maybe not do anything with the information you get from it. Just give me a chance, okay? So I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me some questions about my journey with quitting coffee, because I quit coffee about 3 months ago and decided that I want to share with you my experiences, the drawbacks, the benefits that I got from it, how it affected my productivity, my lifestyle, my wellness, and everything else. So hopefully it's gonna be enjoyable. Hopefully it's gonna give you some value and maybe make you consider quitting coffee for some time as well. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy it. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let's get straight into it. There is no need to waste your time anymore. Okay, so let's start with a question that should just start the whole video. So what made you want to make the initial switch? I'm reading the questions from my laptop, by the way. So don't be surprised if I, look at my laptop sometimes or something. So the initial switch. So maybe let's start with my story, okay? So I've been drinking coffee for years now. I think I started when I was about 14, 15, and now I'm older, so it's been a few years since I started. And over time, especially as I moved to London, the amount of coffee that I was drinking very much increased. And at some point, I would say I was drinking like 4 to 5 coffees a day, which is a lot, which is really a lot. And I noticed that it really affects my anxiety because I suffered with anxiety disorder. Now it's much better, but it's because I'm taking medicines, and also I took steps to just take control over it. Therapy, everything, but that's not the topic of this video. But I noticed it really affected my anxiety. The amount of coffee I was drinking, I'm not even surprised, 5 or 4 coffees a day, that's a lot of caffeine. And it affects your cortisol, like the hormones that are responsible for your stress response, right? And for your alertness. So I noticed that after drinking coffee, I get very much anxious, and so I had to take steps, right? At first I thought that just, reducing the amount of coffee that I drink would help. So I switched to 1 coffee a day, maximum of 2, but it did not help because, I was getting anxious every time I drank coffee, straight after. So I decided that it's time to quit and see how that works, how it's gonna hopefully help me. And so I did it. It wasn't an easy decision because I did make some, trials before making that decisions. I wanted to stop drinking coffee for a day or something, and I failed because I was so dependent on caffeine. I was so dependent on coffee that I could not imagine my day without it. I thought I'm gonna be just so unmotivated, so tired, so dead that I'm not gonna be able to live, And so those beliefs that I had around it really affected the way I was approaching those challenges of, quitting coffee for a day or 2 or something like that, or even a week. So I really had to make a decision and stick to it, which was really hard and required me to have a lot of discipline, but I managed to do it. Especially that I knew that, it's gonna help me. It's for the highest good. So that was necessary, and I did it. And the other question that I got, and I think I kind of answered it, is how does caffeine affect anxiety? And in my case, it can be different for everyone, but in my case, it really increased my levels of cortisol and all of those imbalances that I had in my brain, and it just enhanced it, So it definitely wasn't working for me, but I know that everyone has a different stress response. Everyone has different responses to, caffeine and stuff. So I wouldn't say this is the case for everyone, but for me, this is how it was. Okay, now let's talk about my first days without coffee, because I got so many questions about it as well. And one of them is, did you feel any caffeine withdrawal from switching? And so, to be honest, I feel like my experience with quitting coffee is quite different from so many people, because before I made the decision to stop drinking coffee, caffeinated coffee, I heard that people, went for caffeine withdrawal and all of those symptoms and everything. And I did not, honestly. The first few days, I felt felt different, you know. I felt kind of a bit more tired, a bit less motivated, and like just weird, you know. It was something different. But I did not have any symptoms of withdrawal. I just felt very happy and proud of myself for making the decision and sticking to it. And also I noticed straight away that my anxiety was much, you know, calmer, because I wasn't, you know, driving it with caffeine. And so this was my experience. I did not have any withdrawal symptoms except for, you know, just feeling a bit less energetic. But, you know, it's kind of reasonable. Like, I could expect that. So I wasn't surprised. I think in some cases with some people, it may also be like a placebo effect, you know, so they expect themselves to just feel dizzy and everything, like they start reading about caffeine withdrawal and all those symptoms, and they just kind of imagine it to be this way. And so it's like, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy, like, you know, they stop drinking coffee and they get the symptoms because they expected them to come. But I don't know, this is my opinion. I don't do any, you know, conclusions about you or anything. It's fine. But I did not have any withdrawal, any symptoms. It was totally fine with me, and I felt very great, actually. In the first days, something that really helped me with, you know, sticking to my decision was definitely reading about all the benefits of quitting coffee. I know it's super weird and like not even weird, but like just funny, you know. But it really helped me, because I was like, okay, this is gonna help me with this and this and this, and I'm gonna feel amazing and everything, you know. Watching all those videos on YouTube, like I quit caffeine for 6 months or something. This is the video, but okay. Or like reading the articles on some weird portals about like how quitting coffee can enhance your life and improve your life and everything, and it really made me even more motivated to make that change. And you know, I always had this approach of being like, this is an experiment. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't, then that's fine, you know? I was just observing myself. I was just an observer of my own body. I was trying to listen to my body and see how it reacts to me quitting caffeine. And so, you know, I wasn't putting too much pressure on myself, you know? I was like, okay, what is gonna happen is gonna happen, and I'm just gonna observe it. When it comes to drawbacks and benefits of quitting coffee, I got asked, is there a difference in taste? And guys, I'm really sorry to say that, but there is. Unfortunately, decaf coffee, so many different decaf coffees are just sour in taste. Like, they are, sorry, but they are disgusting. And it took me some time to really find a decaf coffee that I like. If you want my recommendation, I know many people don't like Pret coffees, but I really like Pret's decaf coffee. If you're from the UK or any country where Pret has their branches, then definitely try it out. It's not sour, and this is what matters to me, because all of the decaf coffees, or most of them, are sour, and I hate it. It's totally different than with normal coffee. So that's definitely a drawback of this switch, because it took me a lot of time to find a coffee that I like, but I finally did it, and that was a huge relief for me, because I love coffee. Honestly, like, I'm a coffee lover. I love coffee. I drink so many coffees a day. And decaf coffee, okay, it does have some caffeine. It has like, I think, 3% of normal coffee's caffeine, but it definitely has less caffeine. I mean, also like, you know, black tea or matcha, they also have caffeine, but the levels of it are so much lower. And so it's, you know, it brought the results that I was looking for. I wasn't looking just to, you know, quit caffeine for the sake of it. I was looking for specific results, for decreasing my anxiety, for feeling better, for feeling less dependent on coffee. And so it was working for me, you know. But yeah, there is a difference in taste, and it will definitely take some time for you to find decaf coffee that you like, but it's definitely worth looking for. And once you find it, it's totally fine. Talking about drawbacks, something that I also noticed, and that was a big punch for me, it was that I lost my motivation for some time, but it was a short-term effect. For a moment, I was very worried that my motivation levels are gonna stay so low, and I'm gonna feel unproductive, and I'm gonna feel rubbish, and I'm gonna feel tired. But thankfully, after a few days, my motivation started going up again. And so I think that for the first few days, you know, I was just still very much dependent on caffeine. And so my motivation and my energy levels were also dependent on it. But over time, it started going back to normal, so that was really great. And that was actually a benefit of it, because, you know, I became less dependent on coffee, or actually not dependent on coffee anymore, with my energy levels, my productivity levels, with my motivation levels, which is what we were looking for basically, because you know, it's never good to be addicted. Let's be honest, it's never good to be addicted, so it's better to, you know, live for this week without much motivation and then get your motivation naturally, then, you know, kind of do it synthetically, good kind of, I mean, caffeine is also natural, but like, you get me, you don't want to be dependent on stuff. And so that was definitely a drawback for me, but as I said, it's a short-term thing, so I think it's worth it anyways, like it's gonna pay off. The other drawback is, as I said, that it's hard to find a good tasting decaf coffee, and the third one is that it's hard to stick to your decision for the first week or so. But as I said, something that helped me was reading articles about the benefits, watching YouTube videos about the benefits. It's possible to stick to your decision, and so, as I said a million times already, it's worth sticking to it. When it comes to benefits, there are so many of those, and let me elaborate on that. So, first of all, something that someone asked me is, did it affect your digestion? And guys, yes, it really helped my digestion. I'm a hot girl, and hot girls have digestion problems, have stomach problems. So, you know, it is also a huge problem of mine. And surprisingly, quitting caffeinated coffee freaking helped with my bloating. Like, I was so happy, guys. I was so happy. It was actually even more surprising because it happened so quickly. Like, it took me maybe 2 or 3 days to see the difference. Honestly, like, I was so happy. So digestion was definitely affected in a positive way. The other benefit of it was, of course, not being dependent on caffeine anymore, which I just talked about. So in the short term, it was really hard, maybe for like a week or something. My motivation was really low, but then it started going up. And I just noticed I was not dependent on coffee anymore with my motivation and everything. Like, it was just coming to me naturally. So that was definitely a benefit. And the last thing is that I was just proud of myself, you know, guys? Like, when you stick to your decision, it really makes you proud of yourself. It really makes you feel good about yourself. And also just this awareness that you're doing something good for yourself, that you're taking steps to improve your life in some way. In my case, take my anxiety under control. It just made me feel good with myself, and it made me very proud of myself for being consistent with it, for being determined with it. So that was definitely also a nice benefit of going on this journey, you know? And so to sum up those benefits and drawbacks, someone asked me best and worst parts of it. So I think the worst part of it was that it was so freaking hard for me to find a good coffee. I love coffee, as I told you, and I could not just live without coffee, like no coffee, you know, just living on some matcha or something. No. So I had to find a good decaf coffee, and as I told you, so many of them are disgusting. And so it was really frustrating for me to, you know, be looking for this perfect coffee and not being able to find it. The best part is, oh my God, I think not being dependent on it anymore. You know, like being able to be motivated and be energetic without having to rely on something external, you know? It's just kind of like taking the control back, which is really great. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like, yeah, it just really nice to be able to just not rely on anything and be self-sufficient, you know, with your motivation and everything. So I would say that is the best part. And so guys, announcement, I started drinking coffee again. And yeah, of course, this video was about the benefits and everything, but I don't want to demonize coffee in this video. That's not the case, because I love coffee. I've been drinking coffee for so long, and this was just an experiment. It was just my way of trying to improve my life in some way, but it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna get back to drinking coffee anymore. And this is not the case for me. I started drinking coffee again recently, because recently I've been struggling with like reduced blood pressure. That's what my mom says, she's a doctor, and therefore I'm feeling much more tired, you know, and I'm feeling less motivated and everything. And so maybe not even motivated, but I just feel less energetic. And so I decided, I think like a week or something, to start slowly reintroducing coffee to my life. Because the thing is, when I stopped drinking it, and you know, I tied it with my anxiety. So coffee equals anxiety. No coffee equals no anxiety. This made me kind of fear coffee, you know? I was like, if something had coffee, I was like, no, no, I can't, I can't, I'm gonna have anxiety, I'm not gonna, no, I just can't. And so it just created this kind of like fear around caffeine and around coffee. And so obviously I just don't want to live like that, because like it's very limiting. Because let's say, I remember this one time I went to a cafe and I wanted to drink a nice coffee, you know, I wanted to just chill there, read my book and everything. And so I went to the counter and asked, do you have decaf? Because I was expecting them to have it, because pretty much every coffee shop has decaf coffee here in London. So I was expecting one answer and I was like, okay guys, do you have decaf? And they were like, no. And I was just like, I was just so shocked. I was like, okay, so I will get literally, like, I was just so stressed in that moment. And I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? I took tea instead. But I didn't want to live like that, you know? This moment made me realize that I don't want to live like that. I want to be able to drink coffee if I need it, or just drink coffee once in a while if I want to enjoy it with my family, my friends, or I don't know, if I want to eat tiramisu, you know? Okay, so I started reintroducing coffee. For now, I drink about 1 coffee a day, but I'm trying to do it very slowly and I don't want to increase it even more. I'm still sticking to my decaf coffee and I don't think I'm gonna change it anytime soon. I'm drinking a lot of decaf coffee, but I'm fine with that. If I like coffee, I used to drink 4 caffeinated coffees a day. Now I'm drinking 4 decaf. Okay, I'm joking, not 4, but like at least 2, 3, you know? And it's fine. It doesn't affect me in any way, so I'm fine with that. But I want to start drinking about 1 coffee a day now, just to, you know, boost my energy and everything and boost my mood, because it actually boosts my mood now. And also something that I noticed is that before I quit coffee, I was so used to it that it did not really affect me in any way. It didn't give me any energy anymore. It was just like, I was just drinking it out of habit, but it wasn't affecting me anyway because my body was so used to it. You know, I used to drink 4 coffees a day. My body did not react to it anymore. And so I didn't have any effects of it. And now, as I quit it for 3 months and now started reintroducing it again, the good positive effects of drinking coffee came back. And now, you know, once I drink coffee, I feel energized, I feel motivated, my mood goes up. And that's what I was looking for. I also wanted to get back those you know, those positive effects of coffee, this boost, this kick it gives. So that was definitely a success. But as I said, I'm not going fully back, never again. And I think I'm gonna do like those little breaks every few months. So I'm gonna, let's say, drink coffee for the whole holidays, summer holidays now, but then I'm gonna stop for like a month or 2 and then come back again, because I don't want to get used to it again. I don't want to get dependent on it anymore. Like, I want to be independent. I want to be an independent girl with no coffee addiction. I love coffee and this is not gonna change, but I can't be addicted to it. I don't want to be addicted to it. It's just frustrating. And I have one last question from one of you guys, and it is, what do you use instead of coffee now when you need to be alert, wake up? And this is such a great question, because I feel like, you know, we fear quitting coffee because we're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so tired and I'm just not gonna be able to function normally, you know? And as I told you, that was the case for like a week or something. But nowadays, something that really helps me, you know, just get motivated and get energetic again is actually physical activity. I know that when you're tired, you just don't want to get out of your bed or anything, but you just have to push yourself, you know? It's all about self-discipline. And something that really helps me is just going for a walk. Even if it's like literally 10 minutes, it's just gonna, you know, bring your heartbeat up and yeah, just make you energetic. It can also be a workout or something. You just have to move your body because it's just gonna wake it up. So that's definitely something that helps me. I do not drink any energy drinks because they also count as coffee, you could say, because they have high levels of caffeine. I don't know if they are not even richer in caffeine than coffee. So that's definitely not the solution if you want to quit coffee. No, you're not drinking energy drinks. So physical activity was something that really helped me. And I know it's super hard to get up and just do it, but you have to do it for yourself. Do it for yourself, okay? Guys, that's it. That's it for today's video. I hope you got something valuable from it. You learned about, you know, quitting coffee and how it can affect you, and hopefully you are motivated to do it as well, to try it out as well. Of course, I'm not forcing you to do anything. It's your decision, it's your life, you do you. So just, you know, make a decision yourself. Let me know about your experiences with coffee, how it affects you, whether you've ever thought about quitting coffee, or maybe you're gonna do it now. Let me know if maybe this video motivated you to quit coffee for some time. I'm not saying forever, for some time, and just trying it out, how you're gonna feel. Or maybe you quit coffee in the past and now you can share your experiences with us. I want to hear it all. Share it down below. I will also gladly answer to all of your questions. If you have any other questions, just write down below and I'm gonna answer them all. I promise I'm gonna answer all of your comments. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you have all the buttons down below. You know what to do. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. And guys, I'll see you in the next video next week. Mwah. I love you.